that blockade after failed peace talks with Iran.
And oil prices are surging with stocks falling as traffic through the crucial strait there is at an effective standstill now. NBC's Melanie Zadona reports from Washington.
President Trump threatening to immediately eliminate all Iranian ships if they come near the U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, the superhighway for global goods, including oil. This morning, U.S. military ships began blocking any and all Iranian ships from leaving or entering the strait.
We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing.
The blockade comes after U.S. and Iranian negotiators failed to come to an agreement to end the war.
Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
That's the main U.S. demand, though the president says there's still hope.
We've been called by the other side. They'd like to make a deal very badly.
U.S. Central Command says they will not stop any ship heading into non-Iranian ports.
But I don't understand how blockading the strait is going to somehow...
We're going to interrupt our newscast right now because we're feeling some shaking back right now. We believe that is an earthquake. We need to get confirmation from U.S. Geological Survey, but it feels like one.
Yeah, they are very quick, generally, with posting exactly the epicenter, so we would know how far away it is from Sacramento. But it's rare for us to feel in this region the shaking of that magnitude. We generally, usually they're centered either in the Sierra or the Bay Area, and we don't feel it as strongly here.
Preliminary numbers are coming in. We know how those can change, and I'm going to bring Dirk in on this in a second, but where the initial reading is a 5.5 magnitude, about 140 miles away. And Dirk, we know how these numbers can change once they get a better grip on what's going on.
Yeah, they can change, but this is out near Fallon, Nevada, and so it's off out in that region. So looking at they're saying it's a 5.5, but I'm sure they're going to adjust that as they continue to look at it. But it right now is showing that its depth was about 9 kilometers, so that's a relatively deep earthquake, but we felt it pretty good. Sometimes when you get in a certain geologic strata, you can feel it. It went underneath the Sierra and here into the valley, and we really felt it here in the studio.
So what is it out there? Is there some kind of a zone where you have plates, or is it just...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I wish my daughter, who was a geologist, was here.
We're going to call her up.
Okay, we will look more into that. Again, that's a significant earthquake, and definitely people through a wide geographical area felt this one. So we'll look to get more information, and specifically, of course, any reports of damage.
I guess the best way to describe it for us is when we were in that news story there, it was just more of a front, backwards kind of shifty feel, not a rolling type feel. If you have video of what it looked like in your house, if you have cameras up and running and things are shaking, of course, we would love to have you send that to us here at KCRA, but we'll continue to monitor this and see if those numbers change.
For us, there's always that moment of wonder because we're very close to railroad tracks. So for our studio to shake a little bit is not unusual, but this definitely felt different, and it was no doubt an earthquake. So we'll continue to bring more information to you just as soon as we are able to get that secured.
And to that point, I mean, we didn't hear the noise of the Amtrak engines or the various freight trains, Burlington, Northern Burlington Pacific, I guess.
Point .6 in San
So it was kind of a forward, backward motion for about 6 or 7 beats, and then that was it. And sometimes we know, as Dirk, I hear you pounding away on your keyboard over there, these are followed by sometimes a smaller little type of quakes, but I'm not seeing that yet, and we haven't felt anything since then.
Yeah, in fact, when I first got on the USGS map, it hadn't registered. It took a little bit, and then it popped up. And so I think we're going to just start seeing more reports as we do get some aftershocks. But again, a 5.5, that's a decent-sized earthquake. And so anything else that comes from it could be similar, like a 5 and much less than that. You usually don't get bigger ones than the initial quake. But, this is something to keep definitely an eye on as we go through the evening.
And you said that was 9 kilometers deep? So...
That's what they originally were saying, but there was another earthquake to the south, much smaller. This was much smaller. This was farther south near Tonopah, and that one was a 2.8 that occurred, what's the timing? At 5:33, so pretty close. Well, and this one happened at 6, so about an hour or so.
So maybe or maybe not related, we just don't know.
Yeah.
And help me again with the deeper it is, the less we could feel it. I know there's like an inverse to, like, if the deeper the earthquake is, the
less you're going to feel it, I think.
Right.
So, but it really depends on the rock. You know, what the layer of rock is like, and so it depends on what the material that quake is going through.